What's up, Kira? How are you? Right now, can I just get you to introduce yourself and tell the viewers what you've accomplished, who you're playing for, what you plan on doing with your team?
Hey guys, I'm Kira. As Alpha said, I'm 18 years old. I'm the captain for Saints. And in terms of accomplishment, well, there's too many to count, but I guess our biggest accomplishment would be winning the first Asian circuit a couple months ago.
Hey, yeah, man, that's actually great to hear. Critical Ops Circuit is one of the newer tournaments that they're coming out with, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's been here for a while, but for Asia, it's the first.
Okay. So my first question is regarding that tournament. What were some things that you liked, and what were some things that you didn't like? About the things that you didn't like what could you do to change them?
Well, about the things I didn't like is, well, Asia only had one circuit so far, but in other regions like North America, Europe, and South America, they've had like three to four circuits. And one thing I didn't really like is how repetitive it was. Like the production was the same, the format of the tournament was the same.
Okay.
So I would like to see some changes throughout the year. So let's say at the start of the year, you have qualifiers, you have open qualifiers for everyone. Everyone can participate, everyone can, have a chance of playing. But then, towards the end of the year, I would like to see something that's invite only or something that's among top teams only across globally, not just one region, but like all regions combined and have see who's the best.
Yeah, um, so again, going back to what you said, I just want to further like go in on detail. So you said that the production was repetitive. What exactly do you mean by that?
Production, like the way the tournament was laid out, like just in-game production, the tournament format, the way the tournament was just played. It was like it's great to have a tournament and all, like an official tournament sponsored by Critical Force and all. But if it's the same thing over and over again, it could get quite boring. Time like it would the some change would be nice.
Okay, all right. Um, yeah, no, I completely understand that, man. It's definitely not fun to play the same thing over and over again, especially for prize pools that critical force fighting.
Yeah.
So next question that I'm going to get to is, so I've actually been in touch with a couple of people from the Asian critical ops competitive scene, and what I keep hearing is that for the tournaments wise, the only prizes that are given like out other than the circuit is credits and cases. There isn't really that much attention towards the Asian scene, um, and this is making a lot of Asian players unmotivated, and not a lot of them want to play because some of them, most of the Asian players, someone told me that a lot of the Asian players are like school and they're learning and getting their degree. So my question to you is, what's the situation with the tournaments, man? Like, how often are the tournaments, and what's going on with the prize pool? How do you feel about how much you've played and what you've gotten in return for being a winner?
Well, I guess they're not wrong because of school. Like, people can be busy. They won't have time to participate in tournaments like Circuit. Like, for example, when Circuit Asia was first announced and the first qualifiers were open, half my teammates couldn't play because it was hosted right around on final exam period, which was just unlucky timing. And I think it was because of lack of communication from the devs. Like they should have, try to interact with the community more, try to find out when the exams were, when people will be mostly free. And another thing is, circuits not that consistent. Like it's not an every month thing or every week thing. So something like smaller than circuit would be nice. Like something that's consistently there, like almost every month or something like that. So people always have something to grind for, something to play
Yeah,
for.
yeah, no, and that's exactly what I'm trying to provide But the only thing is I don't have a lot of Asian players, man. Gets to my next question statement. So I don't have a lot of Asian players, and a lot of this is because I feel like, the Asian players see teams like Saints up at the top, and makes it hard for them to compete. So before they even, get into a queue and give a shot at it, they just see a big name and a big team, and they just give up instantly. What do you think about that? Like, is that an accurate thing to say, or believe it's different?
Well, you're not completely wrong, but you're not 100% right as well. Well, recently and over the last couple months, there have been some rise in the Asian competitive scene. A lot of the players I've seen gotten better. Like I've seen them actually winning out tournaments, like small tournaments, winning against us, which is quite surprising because the last 2 years I've played this game, this Asian scene has been on a very big decline. But recently there's been a small rise in the competitive scene, not too big, but little improvements here and there, and that's nice to see. And you're
Yeah.
not completely wrong either, because yes, there are some players think think like, they're too individually outskilled. Like how are they gonna win their gunfights? How are they gonna win as a team? Because there's a lot of times when we play against a team in a tournament and they would forfeit before the game's even begun
Yeah.
because they think like we're playing against them, why even bother? Which I think is not the right way to
Not
approach.
not
Because like if you want to improve, you have to play against better players. And even if you lose badly, even if you get humiliated, that's not exactly a bad thing. I mean, you might feel a bit embarrassed about that, but you learn from that instead of just
yeah.
seeing that as a loss, see that as something you could learn from. That would be a nice change as well.
Yeah, man. I actually like to hear that too. I like to hear that from you a lot because I personally believe that coming from Gangstars, it's crazy to see because I don't know if you remember back in the day, Gangstars used to play every single team and used to lose all the time, man. But they literally grinded and grinded and grinded. Eventually, like even after I joined, they grinded and then they got that land win, bro. They got the tournament win. So guys, like just like Kira said, it's not about who you go against and how good they are, but it's also about how much effort you put in. If you've tried your best, and just because you lose doesn't mean you didn't get anything out of it, because obviously you learn how to play better, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So Kira, my next question for you is, what kind of practice is offered to the Asian community? Like, like what kind of things can you do to practice? Is it scrims? Do you guys play ranked, or like what's kind of practice is offered, man?
Well, in the Asian scene particularly, most teams play, well, I don't know if you heard of it, but there is this thing called Cups every day. It's a small tournament format where you play from like 6:30 p.m. and you finish the whole tournament in a day. Kind of like ESL, I'm sure you've heard of that,
Okay.
but it's a bit smaller than ESL. So a lot of teams play almost every single day in cups or stuff like that to improve. And I think that's a good way to practice.
Don't think it's a good way to practice.
Oh, I think it's a good way to
Oh,
practice
okay.
in a way.
Okay,
But at
and
the same time, playing too much can be bad for you
yeah,
because
yeah.
you burn out, and that's not exactly what you want to do.
Hey, shout out, man. I like you for saying that a lot, guys. Managing your time, everything needs a balance, man. I'm glad to hear you say that because everything needs a balance. You guys can't be overworking yourself. Um,
Yes,
so
I agree.
obviously you have a lot of experience with that, probably because you're talking about it, man. You probably felt overworked
Yeah,
before.
yeah, I
So tell
did.
me, what do you do? So like for you personally, what do you do to keep that balance? I'm saying that life balance, family balance, gaming balance, team balance. What do you do to keep that balance, man?
Well, for me, well, I try to balance everything, so I don't play any games before like I don't know,
Okay.
like 7, 8 p.m. I try to do everything I have to do throughout the day before 7, 8 p.m. Even then, if that day I feel too tired, I just don't bother playing because again, playing too much can be bad for you, can make you worse. Like some people think playing a lot of team deathmatches or killing a lot of bots will make you aim better. In a way, yes, but you're not 100% correct because if you keep doing that, it will make your aim really shaky in a way, and that's not what you want to do. You burn yourself out, your aim will get shaky, and then you get tilted, and you will eventually stop playing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a very, very perfect explanation because I actually experienced the same thing a lot. Like you said, TDM is a very, very good way to develop gun skill, but you can also overplay it and burn yourself out. So, that wasn't even on my question list, man. I'm so glad you brought that up because that is a very important topic to touch. Um,
Yeah.
so the last thing that I'm going to ask you today is, so obviously you know that I started when working with the Royal Network, and we launched the matchmaking server, and there haven't been that many Asian queues, maybe any Asian queues at all. I would just like to ask you, so far, what do you think about Royal matchmaking? Have you played it yet, or you have any recommendations?
Well, I haven't played it yet, but I think it was an amazing idea. It turned out better than I could have thought because like within the first hour there was like 1,000 members in the first server. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, man.
And it reminds me of like the old matchmaking servers COPS used to have run by King Lion Leo. I think it was called the Elite Matchmaking,
Hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like back then people would play what was matchmakings instead of playing ranks. Well, ranks weren't thing back then, so they'd play matchmaking or scrims or TDMs, and a lot of players would get recognized. If I'm not wrong, Solar from Gangsters was recruited to Gangsters through elite matchmaking, and I think it's a good way to find better play, like unknown talent, new players, and it can be a good way for you to improve as a player by playing against more experienced players and getting noticed in the scene through matchmaking.
Yeah, man. It's great to hear that you support what I've started. So, do you think you're gonna see yourself on Royal Network playing some of the matchmaking queues and getting your practice in? Team's not on.
Definitely, sometimes if I feel like playing and I don't have anyone to play when my team's off, then I'll definitely hop on here and there.
All right, man. So the last thing I'm gonna ask you to do is you just give like a little bit of speech or motivation to the upcoming players, or the players that don't even know that they could possibly make it. Asian scene, if you could just give them a little bit of something so they can motivate themselves and come play with you, man. Trying to reach you, these guys are trying to get to your level, man.
Well, firstly, for me, how I improved was seeing how other competitive players play. You don't just like I said, a lot of players like to watch competitive streams and just for fun. Instead of just watching it like for fun, try to learn from it. See what other professional players would do. See what they would and try to replicate that in game. And when you play games and you do that, instead of just going to a TDM and trying to improve your aim, work on what you think you did wrong in the game. Was it your lack of utility usage? Was it your lack of patience, lack of aggression? Maybe you were playing too passive. Like working on small things here and then will get you to a higher level really, really fast. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like working on small things will get you like better than just grinding TDMs or whatever the hell you do.
All right, man. I like that. That was a very well-rounded answer. Um, so yeah, man, those are all the questions I have for you. Would you like to, shout out any of your social medias, YouTube, anything, real quick? All the links are going to be in the description, by the way, and the comments.
Well, shout out to you for having me. Thanks for having me
Of
up. It was nice. It's nice
course.
to have you back to the competitive scene. Well, not the
Thanks,
competitive
man.
scene, but the scene in general.
Yeah, it feels really good, man. I'm glad to be back, and I'm trying to make a change. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get more people involved in competitive.
Yeah,
Personally, I don't want to diss critical force, but I feel like they just haven't done the best job when it comes to trying to get more people to play competitive. So I'm stepping in,
yeah,
man, doing the bigger work. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Best of luck with that.
All right, thank you, and best of luck to you guys. But yeah, guys, once again, this is Saints Kira from Asia, best Asian team right now. They're gonna be making big moves, and we got some big things coming. So thanks for watching, and Kira, if you got any last words, try to say bye, man.
Uh, bye, guys. Thanks, Alpha, again for having me.
Of course, man. All right, I'll catch you guys later.